Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone. Do a quick video. This is an article from Activist Post dated May 16th. It says, Watch Venezuela. Because food shortages, looting, and economic collapse are coming to America too. Alright, read the scripture. This is Matthew 24:7. For a nation, I'll start at 24:6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. Alright, so we already know about the wars going on that have been going on in the Middle East. And now we know that there's a lot more wars going on in the Pacific, South China Sea, and South America, Central America, and soon the wars are going to be happening here in America. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows, right? And that's the time we're in. Alright, we're in the beginning of sorrows. And you can see what's happening in Venezuela. It's nothing but sorrows. I'm going to read this article. And this is a supermercado or supermarket. And this is the line to get in to get some food. Alright? The full-blown economic collapse that is happening in Venezuela right now is a preview of what Americans will be experiencing in the not-too-distant future. Just a few years ago, most Venezuelans could never have imagined that food shortages would become so severe that people would literally hunt dogs and cats for food. So just like here in America, people they can't imagine a food shortage. Well, the Venezuelans felt the same way. Look at them now. But as you will see below, this is now taking place. Sadly, this is what the end game of socialism looks like. And America is a socialist country. Alright? And just like the Nazis, which stands for National Socialist, America is a Nazi country. Alright? They funded the Nazis. They did the same thing. Actually, the Nazis said they learned their whole system from America. Alright? National Socialism is America. Alright? America's socialist. Believe it or not. Uh, when an all-powerful government is elevated far above all other institutions in society and radical leftists are given the keys, blah blah blah. It says, food shortages, looting, and rampant violent crime have all become part of the daily life of Venezuela. Alright? And we all need to watch carefully as this unfolds because similar scenarios will soon be playing out all over the planet, mainly here in America. Alright? It says Venezuela has more wealth than most countries in the world. Well, it's an OPEC nation, right? It's an industrial country, but the majority of its resources, it nationalized their oil. Everything, they're just oil dependent, so they're so dependent on one resource, right? But America is independent on a resource, which is what? The petrodollar, which is nothing, which is going to collapse soon. So how did such a wealthy nation find itself plunged into full-blown economic collapse so rapidly? And could a similar thing happen to us? Alright, so it says, the President of Venezuela declared a 60-day state of emergency in a desperate attempt to restore order. Right, and that's what a president here can do, executive order, and can just call a state of emergency. And with that state of emergency, that president here in America can do whatever they want. But most people don't anticipate that it will do so much good. Social order continues to unravel as this economy systematically implodes. The Venezuelan economy shrunk by 5.7%. Alright, inflation is raging wildly out of control. Right, the inflation is at 720%. All right, and they say by next year it'd be at 2,200%. People, if people are able to get their hands on some money, they immediately rush out to the stores to use before the prices go up again because of the inflation. This has created devastating shortages of food, basic supplies, and medicine. All right, so just like what's happened in Venezuela, it's gonna happen here in America. And when people rush to the stores, what does that do? It causes a shortage on food. This is Ezekiel 14 and 12. But the Lord came again to me, saying, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out mine hand upon it, and will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. Alright? So America does nothing but sin against the Most High, trespassing grievously. So the Most High is going to break the staff of the bread thereof, and send a famine here, right? Just like he did in Venezuela. So here it says electricity is also in short supply, and the 2-day work week has been imposed on many government employees. Violent crime is seemingly everywhere, and most law-abiding Venezuelans lock themselves in their home at night as a result. And that's going to happen here in America. The crime is being perpetuated by the mafia and the gangs, but sometimes it's normal people looking for food. And Jake and our community, blacks, so-called blacks and Latinos, that's all you got is the goddamn mafia and the gangs, right? And they're gonna try to control the food. They're gonna sell food on the black market, and that's what's happening there in Venezuela. People getting hands on the food and they're trying to sell it, take advantage of people, right? All because they're hungry. It says desperate people do desperate things. 107 episodes of looting or attempted looting in the first quarter of 2016. And this is from The Guardian. Crowds of people in Venezuela have stolen flour, chicken, and even underwear this week as looting increases across the country in the wake of shortages of many basic products. Many people have adopted the habit of getting up in the dead of night to spend hours in long lines in front of supermarkets. So just like how you stupid ass people stand in line for the new iPhone or fucking tennis shoes, alright, or with some video game console or video game or some release of some high fashion, you're going to be get used to it because you're going to be doing that to get some food soon. It says, but as more end up empty-handed and black market prices soar, plundering is rising in Venezuela, an OPEC nation that was already one of the world's most violent countries. All right, and we know that America is a very violent country as well. All right, there is no official data, but the Venezuelan Observatory for Social Conflict, a rights group, have reported 107 episodes of looting or attempted looting. And there's an example of looting that took place on May 11th. Thousands of hungry people stormed Maracay Wholesale Market in central Venezuela, and the cops couldn't do anything to stop them. It says they took milk, pasta, flour, oil, milk powder. 5,000 people from across the entire state came to the supermarket because there was rumors that some products not found anywhere else would be sold there. There were 250 people for each National Guard officer. So for every security guard, so to speak, there was 250 people. So what do you think was going to happen? Lots of people and few soldiers. At least one officer was beat up because he tried to stop the crowd, right? And then one of those officers, they see one dude get beat up by the crowd, like, fuck that, they're just going to let him pass, get what they need to get. And here's some footage of what went down. They're just rushing. All these people rushing one little door. Yeah, dude right here with a box. You know, he's gonna get his ass whooped on the way out. So let me read this real quick. And like you Americans, man, you don't think this is gonna happen? Well, it's in the scriptures of how you're gonna be, and it says in Luke 17:25. It says, sorry, Luke 17:26. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. Right? Because when Noah was out there prophesying about the flood, no one believed him. They mocked him. They scoffed at him. But he kept building his ark. Why? Because Yahweh Shem Shai told him to do so. It was commanded unto him to do such. It said they did eat, they drank, they married wives. They were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Right? So just like then, today, people are eating, they're drinking, right? They're getting married. Their focus is on getting married, getting wives, having marriages, which is being jovial and eating and drinking. You ain't gonna be able to do that for too much longer. All right, and that's what's gonna happen. Your wife, she ain't gonna make it. She's she's the main weak link in the time up. Like you look at this, you look at all these people over here. People getting manhandled, man. You gotta be strong to come out over here. The bunch of dudes just stepping on each other. You can see the woman on the side over there, and they can't do shit about it. And what's happening in Venezuela is gonna be thousands times worse here in America, all right? It said they did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise, also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded, right? So every time before the Most High destroys a place, it's just business as usual. People here in America is business as usual. It says, but the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. All right. So we know right now when Yahweh Shai comes back, everyone's gonna be. It says the Lord's gonna come like a thief in the night. All right. All of the chip, the microchip, the economic collapse can happen at any moment. You see what's happening in Venezuela, and what's the article? What's the name of it? Coming to America too. All right. And their main thing is inflation. And what does America do? Just print out more money, which is what inflation. It says it is important to remember that this was not an isolated incident, as people have become hungrier and hungrier. They have reports of looting at pharmacies, shopping malls, supermarkets, food delivery trucks. People chanting, "We are hungry." Venezuelans have resorted to digging in dumpsters, trash cans. Right? These people are desperately hungry. It says now they're actually hunting dogs and cats for food. All right. It's a painful reality. So there's a shortage on everything, and you don't think that's what's coming here to America? Let me read this. This is an article from the Economic Collapse blog from May 25th. A spirit of violence and civil unrest is rising in America. All right, and this pretty much is talking about the Trump rallies. right? At the Albuquerque Convention Center, what's happening? People are shouting "Viva Mexico!" It's a race war. The rampaging gang was made up of anti-Trump goons, waving the Mexican flag and burning a Trump banner. "Viva Mexico!" protesters shouted. Rioters even targeted police horses, knocking one down and throwing burning T-shirts at others. Who tries to burn down a horse? Well, obviously Mexicans, all right, that had enough of you goddamn devils, right? And you Mexicans are Israelites, the Ishacharites, and now you're seeing this goddamn devil for who he is, all because of Trump. But you still got Caesar Borgia in your house. But at the end of the day, the Most High's putting that spirit in you to come and rise up against the so-called white man. All right, let me read this. This is Second Ezra 15 and 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." All right, and that says the spirit of violence and civil unrest is rising in America, and it's just going to escalate. It's going to get more and more violent. And you can see it's just all out hell out here. And then today in San Diego, there was a big riot, all because of this devil, Donald Trump. And of course, the spirit of violence, civil unrest is rising in America. It's not limited to Donald Trump rallies, right? So it's not just these Donald Trump rallies. It's not just because of him. It's because the spirit Yahweh Shem Yahushua is doing what what he told he's going to do. He said it right here. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right? So that means they don't give a damn about the police. That's why in this video, they're jumping on cop cars. They don't give a. They're fighting the police. They don't give a fuck about the police. All right, and you can see what's going on in Chicago. It's just more and more death. Our own wicked ass people killing each other. Other big cities are seeing similar spikes of violent crime. All right, it says experts cannot agree on what to call a recent rise in homicides, much less its cause. But new data on Friday that showed a sharp spike in homicide rates. More than 20 cities rekindled debate over whether it was time for alarm. Data show particularly significant increases in homicides in 6 cities in the first 3 months of the year, compared to same periods last year. Chicago, major city; Dallas, major city; Jacksonville, Florida, major city; Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and Memphis, all major cities, right? And they have more homicides. More people are killing each other. And they talk about the stock market is soaring, unemployment is a bit lower than it was during the depths of the last recession. But what is going on? But when things start getting really bad in this country, so they're saying, hey, it's not even that bad right now, but it's going to get even worse. So can you imagine what these people, back to that thing, desperate people do desperate things. People are willing to hurl rocks and set horses on fire because of Trump. What do you think they're going to do when there's no food for their families? Right? It's going to be all hell out here. And you can see this article refers to Venezuela. Alright, I'll finish the scripture. But the sword and destruction draweth nigh, one people shall stand up and fight against one another, swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their hands, stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able, For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. Alright? The lack of bread is coming. You see that lack of bread, once that lack of bread goes, it's gonna be all out hell out here. And you see what happened in Venezuela, what they do? They fucked up the currency so much that people just rush to the stores, so there's not enough left. So people go buy all the food, buy all the so-called medicine, underwear, clothing, everything that you need. They get it all to the point of there's no more, and now people are just doing this. Right? I think they got a picture of the store shelves right here. Just totally ransacked. And more of this is gonna happen. Alright. So with that, death to America. Right, this you can see this place is it's just gonna get worse and worse. You brothers stay in the faith. Shalom.